Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day out there. Safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Create the perfect relationship between you and your body. Treat your body with all the love, honor, gratitude, and respect. When you're making your goal to adore your body and accept yourself completely, you're learning to have the perfect relationship with anyone else you are with. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 61, NASDAQ up 21, S&P's up 8, gold contract up $1.20, trading at $1,375 an ounce. Silver down 4 cents at $30.65. Platinum flat at $1,830 an ounce. Copper down 3 pennies at $4.99 a pound. Light sweet crude up 69 cents at $85 and a penny. Bonds flat at 118.30. Dollar index down 35 ticks, trading out at 78.30. Euro 135.70. Yen 83.65. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, what do we have? You're up another $8. You did 850 million shares out here versus the 924 of yesterday. And yes, we should be banging out 1.2, 1.3 billion. Juice is not there. Every day you get a higher price. Dow Industrials. Dow, a new high out here. We're at 12,288. Closing high, that is. Hit 12,303. Inside the Dow out here, we had pushing it up was J.P. Morgan Chase, Boeing, Hewlett Packard, Exxon. Pulling away from it was Walmart, Verizon, Procter & Gamble, and Big Mac, McDonald's. The composite index, up 21 points today, 2.2 billion. That should be pushing 2.8 billion. Gets also to a new high, closing high. That is both new high and closing high, 28.25. If we go take a look at the SPY, the SPY, what we did with the SPY out here, folks, you did 125 million shares. That 125 gets over the 162 from the 10th, and that's after the downdraft out there on the 28th of January with 300 million shares. We go into the 4Qs. 4Qs, of course, what you have here are still all about Apple. What you had here with the 4Qs, we get to a price point today of 59.04. You close it high 58.88 with 52 million versus a downdraft out there of 123 million. Now, what we also had out here intraday was pretty interesting. And what it was specifically at noontime, folks, market got a little scare. Bottom line is that market went south. If we look at the S&Ps, went from 133.17 to 133.19 with volume, by the way, very, very quickly getting into the gap from the morning open. And that was right across the board. We go back to Apple for a second. What we have with Apple out here, Apple 16 million shares. And bottom line, Apple also had made an intraday high today of 364 with 572,000 on the 10-minute and 918,000 blew out of it on the way down, made its way back, but right at the very end of the day also, that had a big sell out there. Still at a much higher high. Bottom line, though, that last sell on the close was almost as hefty as the one intraday. And the battle lines are set up, and they're pretty clear out here. You got Apple, new technology, subscription-based business, and you got Google. And what you have here, folks, specifically inside the content business is this. Apple came out yesterday, turning around and says, okay, bottom line is that we'll take all subscriptions, but we're going to be the gatekeeper. That gatekeeper is going to take 30% of all subscriptions that are sold, all content that is sold on Apple, and the publishers do not get any of the information as to who is buying it. Well, Google came out today with OnePass, and what OnePass is all about, folks, is not only the same type of subscription-based, content-based deal, but what the difference is that the publishers actually get the information, and Google is only taking 10%. Bottom line, my take on it, Android's going to rule the deal here, folks, okay? It's just common sense, okay? If you're a publisher, which we are, okay, bottom line, you give up 30%, ASAP and not get your customer versus 10% and you get your customer. Now, you can spread that base certainly right across everything. In our case, my new book coming out, it's not as crucial as larger publishers that have huge amounts of magazines and everything else. Bottom line is that you're going to give up 30%. It's not going to happen. You're going to see that change. Apple's just not going to get the business that they think they're going to get. We're going to take a look at the gold market out here. What we had with gold out here today, folks, we had a price spread of gold between 1368 and 1382. You did 124,000 contracts. That 124 is still coming into 252. It's still going to need more juice in order to get into the downdraft that was created from January 4th. January 4th, we had come from $1,419 down to $1,377. If you go look at the GLD, which of course trades at 10% of the price of gold, we did 12 million shares today, getting into that 134 area versus the 134.16 that did 26 million shares. Same type of setup there. So the GLD, we're still at the levels from October of 2010. That's where we are. We go to the bond market. We take a look at bonds. What we did with bonds out here, 30-year bond, price spread on it today was 118.18 at the lows, 119.20 at the highs. The range that it's trying to get into, folks, well, it actually got in the bottom of that range. And that bottom of the range is 118.21. What it's going to, it did 409,000 contracts today, which is some juice, by the way. When it was coming downtown, with 386,000 with 422. You did 409 today. So what that is doing, that's pushing into the bottom of the range of that 118.21, which it's inside by 7 ticks. You get inside that good and you push in good. You'll get to the 122.05. You'll come up to that 128 area. We're going to take a look at the NDX 100. Now, inside the NDX 100, what we had out here is this. You had Apple, of course, and I believe, let's see if Apple's made 21% yet. No, it's 20.89%. We had Apple pushing the NDX 100 up. We had RIM pushing it up. We had Comcast and Dell. Dell had a good day out there today. Taken away from it was Amazon, Amgen, Qualcomm, and Cisco. Let's go to Dave in Clearwater. Hey, Dave, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how are we doing today?
We're doing great. You having a good day out there?
I'm having a great day, man. It's a beautiful day, and as you like to say, spring has sprung here in Florida.
It certainly has. I hope it's sprung right where you folks are too, because it certainly has sprung here, and we're gonna grab every minute of it, no doubt.
Oh, no doubt. It's absolutely beautiful. And Tom, I say this as a native Floridian. When I was a kid growing up, all my friends were like, well, when I become an adult, I'm going to move here or I'm going to move there. I remember thinking to myself, I grew up in Miami, I remember thinking to myself as I'm sitting on Miami Beach watching the scenery, I'm thinking to myself, I could move, but where am I going to go that's any better?
Yeah. Now, what's interesting about that, though, is that, so did you move around before that, meaning even with your family, so you knew that other places weren't as nice as this?
Well, no, what it was is I was born in Florida and then went into the Army and traveled the world when I was in the Army. And then when I got out of the Army, I went back to school. I was going to University of Miami. And as we were getting towards graduating, they're like, well, I want to go to New York and move here and do this and do that.
That's right. Let me tell you, I've had a house down here forever. I mean, we used to live on the other side. But it's different going back and forth from weekends versus, when I met my wife, I'm come down here permanently 11 years ago. And it is. When I look at children growing up around here, I'm saying to myself, oh, my God. I mean, you can't leave this place. And because once you know the difference, good, take a plane and go somewhere else. Go skiing. Go do whatever you want to do. But the bottom line is that, and folks, it has more to do also than just the sun. It has to do with the blue skies. I think it does anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Tom, absolutely. There's a reason why. I think it has to do with twofold. One, it has to do with the blue skies. There's a reason why it's called the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we have that. Also, and not to get political, but it's a pro-business state. You know what I'm saying? The burdens are relatively
no state
low,
taxes.
tax structure's low.
Listen, coming out of Massachusetts, absolutely, man. I was, going from a state that they used to call Taxachusetts, and I come down here with no state tax ASAP. That was a beautiful thing, man.
Oh, no doubt. Give yourself an instant raise.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
The SPY, you want to look at the SPY, right?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could ask you to put the SPY on an intraday chart, maybe like a 10-minute chart.
Yep, I have it.
a couple things. I was watching the market today, trading intraday, and man, oh man, that, I think you have a penchant for understatement. That 12 o'clock down blast was quite the scene. Also, at the tail end of the day, my question is as follows: does it look like this might potentially be making a Gartley pattern here with the X point, the high of the day at 134.01, A point being the end of the downdraft at 12.10, and looks like it's done an ABCD up to about a little bit above a 786 retracement?
Yes. What he's looking at, folks, okay, so this Gartley would be A to B equals C to D, and you do a 0.786. It's probably a little bit more than that, but yes. And you know, my take on, well, you know, my take is a bearish period. But let me tell you something, folks. Intraday today, and it's not the first time, okay? The first time was that Apple trade last week. This market is unstable. You know, that sell-off, okay, at noontime is something that was very fast, was very furious, and, you know, it came all the way back. Granted, that's how it's been. But those types of sell-offs, okay, can get out of hand, and they get out of hand very quickly. You know, I wasn't in front of the screen the day of I was on the road the day of that Apple sell. I saw the trade. You know, I hunted the trade on the 10th. Okay, that in itself, though, that was one of them. You know, but today what you did have, folks, is that right across at noontime, and it had to do with a statement, I believe, out of Israel saying that Iran was going to send 2 warships through the Suez Canal, and, you know, it really, what happens, folks, it doesn't matter what it is. What you want to pay attention to is what ends up happening, and the bottom line is that someone was selling fiercely all the futures, and they sold them, I mean, ASAP, but that to me isn't, you know, that's, and I'm not saying, folks, I'm short. You don't have to go short, but let me tell you something. This market is unstable right now, and
it's incredibly unstable because, I don't know, Tom, I haven't been trading this as long as you have, but just from a supply and demand fundamental, I don't see how this market can, you know, have a downdraft day, major volume on a downdraft, and then next day it just floats higher. To use your analogy, with no one in the store. But I was wondering if I could ask you for one more, please.
Yeah, you just stay right there. Going to be right back. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. We had that up 61. NASDAQ up 21. S&P's up 8. Gold contract up $1.20, trading at $1,375. Silver, $30.67. We're going to be right back, folks.